Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, March 21st. So welcome to the very first full day of not only Aries season, but of the brand new astrological calendar. Of course, we ushered in this brand new year yesterday with the equinox, with the sun moving into Aries season, and we are definitely feeling the shift. We do have the moon in transformative, very intense, very, very passionate Scorpio, and it will be in Scorpio all day. There are 13 different aspects taking place here today. It's a very busy day. We are in Aries season. It's going to be a very busy time, and 11 of them involve this very deep and probing, transformative, motivated, inspired moon in Scorpio. So we have the moon bumping into Neptune very early on in the day and definitely jacking up our emotions, jacking up our intuition, and of course, providing us with an opportunity to abandon the logical, practical mindset of our realistic circumstances in order to align with the higher vision, the higher dream, and definitely give ourselves a little bit of a push of inspiration and motivation to hold the dream, to hold the vision very, very strong in our heart space, in our head space. This allows us to kind of abandon our physical realities for just a moment to remind ourselves what it is that we're actually fighting for. Now, Mercury is going to conjunct, sit next to, team up with Jupiter. Of course, both of them are in Piscean energy. Mercury rules over the lower intellect, our mental plane, how it is that we're bringing information in, reprocessing that information, forming an opinion, and communicating that outward. Jupiter is all about growth and expansion, all about the possibilities of the future. And this particular aspect is really going to push our mental plane to the next level of growth, to the next level of enlightenment, to the next level of spiritual understanding, very much blending our higher selves, the higher intellect coming in from the universal realms above, and blending it with the logical, practical, egoic mindset that, of course, needs to be on the same page and try to make sense of some things, even though there's not a true understanding of the metaphysical realm. We're going to try, we're going to be inspired, we're pushing ourselves to really push that mental narrative out of the old and into the new. The moon goes ahead and squares Mars, and this is going to feel like a little bit of a tension point. Of course, Mars, the co-ruler over Scorpio energy, the square often provides us with an inner conflict, with a tension in our lives in order for us to see where it is that we have to muster up the courage and bravery to go ahead and take action. This is where we're kind of aligned with a new mission, a new meaning, a new purpose. We are pushing ourselves past the pain, through the pain. We are kind of stepping into a fearlessness that we need to have in order to address some problematic areas in our lives. Now, this is going to push us to take an action, to make a move. This can put us in a little bit of a funk. This can actually put us in a little bit of a mood because, of course, we are tired of feeling the pain, the suffering of the past, the mental fatigue, the heartache, the circumstances that are really putting us in a dark place. And we may be triggered by an outside scenario, an outside situation, really putting us at odds, at war with our heart against our head, because of course we need to get these two in agreement before our body will allow us to take that action in moving forward, bringing our dreams and our visions to our physical realities. The moon will be bumping into Chiron in not the most pleasant way, and likely will be an activation, a trigger coming from our outside realm. And this is going to push us to heal our wounds, especially where it is that our identity has taken a hit, where the circumstances that are rapidly changing in our lives is really having an effect on how it is that we see ourselves, how it is that we are pushing ourselves forward. Now, although this isn't going to feel nice because being triggered never does, it is absolutely necessary for us to feel this inner conflict in order for us to recognize what areas are most problematic within our heart space, within our head space, within our spirit and our soul right now, so that we can get down to the nitty gritty and actually do an inner transformation that will help us move out of the darkness and step further into the light. The moon does oppose Uranus. Now, Uranus, of course, is the great awakener. He likes to shock us. He likes to disrupt our lives, our plans, in order for us to see what it is that we actually need in our lives. Uranian energy is in Taurus, and of course, Taurus sits across from Scorpio energy, so there is a little bit of a tug of war, a little bit of a conflict here. It is really going to put us again at odds because of the earlier triggers in the day with trying to figure out what it is that we actually want, what we actually need, what we actually desire. This comes down to our emotional needs, where it is that we need to identify with our own individual needs instead of trying to consider everyone else's needs as well. Of course, we are having some intimacy issues right now. We are having some cloudy, chaotic thoughts and feelings. And this is likely just going to amplify where it is that we need to work on identifying what will help us feel a little bit more stable, a little bit more grounded, a little bit more taken care of, especially in our personal relationships. The moon goes ahead and squares Venus. Venus, of course, the goddess of love, of beauty, of worth, of value. She is in Aquarian energy, so she's kind of off on her own, kind of dancing to the beat of her own drum. She's looking for independence. She's looking for freedom, especially from some of the restrictions, some of the confines that she's been stuck in since early December. Now, this is going to put us at odds again with our heart and our head. We're very indecisive at this time. We're reviewing the chaos in our heart and our head. We're recognizing where it is that we're overly attached to the past. And of course, recognizing very clearly where it is that we're overwhelmed in our heart space, in our head space on what it is that we actually want, need, and desire, especially when it comes to relationships and what it is that we want to do with ourselves moving forward, enforcing new boundaries, building new relationships, building new routines for ourselves that, of course, is going to build us up, encourage us, and support us in actually initiating a brand new energy. The moon goes ahead and bumps into the sun in not the most pleasant way. But again, we need this conflict. We need this opposition in order for us to realize what it is we need to let go of, what it is we need to abandon, what it is that we need to put to a certain death within our thoughts, within our feelings. Because of course, those are the elements standing in our way for moving forward. This is kind of mustering up the realization that we are blocking ourselves, that we are creating a more complex situation than there needs to be. And the sun now in Aries doesn't have any guilt, doesn't have any shame, wants to move forward and detach from the past. Of course, the moon being our emotions and our unconscious self in Scorpio, a fixed sign that has a problem letting go of the past. We really are kind of dabbling with our present selves. We are in a very awkward adjustment period, and it's becoming a little bit more intense in our realizations where it is that we got to get out of our own damn way. The moon bumps into Pluto, and this is a beautiful energy because Pluto, the great transformer, is also the powerhouse ruler over the Scorpio energy. This is a positive aspect, which means that the funk that we've been in earlier in the day, dealing with the triggers, dealing with the deep probing realizations of where it is that we're standing in our own way and blocking our own blessings. This is a revelation. This is a very, very deep emotional and psychological transformation, because that's where the change needs to happen before we see any kind of change take place in our physical realms. Now, this is going to trigger some super intense emotions. This is going to shift us out of the darker thoughts, the darker feelings, and shift us into something lighter that we can work with. This is going to motivate us to step up, motivate us to take the lead, motivate us to heal certain aspects of ourselves, cutting the cord from those darker parts of self, really sabotaging our hopes and our dreams for the future. And this is aligning us with a new mission, with a new purpose. Mars, Sextiles, Chiron. Of course, we have Mars that rules over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, even our aggression and anger, if need be. Chiron, of course, the wounded healer. This aspect is where we get a new sense of self, where we heal our will, heal our ego, heal our identity. We're going to be popped off, energized. We are going to have volume all the way up. There is a shock that comes to our system that really pushes us out of the funk and into something new. This is where we feel the shift. This is where we come into focus. This is where we gain clarity on where it is that we're moving forward, where it is that we're taking action, where it is that we are stepping up in our fearlessness, in our courage, in our bravery to make a dramatic shift in our physical realms. The moon goes ahead and bumps into Chiron shortly after, and this is definitely pushing us to heal. This is definitely pushing us into a brand new spiritual understanding of the cycle that we're in, the season that we're in, understanding the hardships that we just had to go through, understanding the silver linings of the situation, and motivating us, inspiring us to stay the course in moving forward. The moon goes ahead, trines both Jupiter and Mercury. This is a healing of our vision, of our thoughts, of our heart, of our soul. This is where we become spiritually enlightened, where we have a new understanding of all the workings of the past in order to put us in this present moment, preparing for our future vision, our future dreams, our future mission and purpose. This is going to get us back on track between our heart and our head, put us in a beautiful position to actually see the growth in our narrative, see the growth in our heart space, and even put us in a good position to have the heartfelt conversations that we need to have with the people in our lives that we've been disconnected from because of the hurt, because of the pain that have been blocking us from truly connecting with one another. We wrap the day up with the moon squaring Saturn. This is a boss up. This is where it is that we recognize where we have to take control back over our emotions. Yes, negative Nancy is going to come out to play. Yes, Debbie Downer is going to be there too. But we have the perspective, we have the strength, we have the motivation to overwrite this programming, to nip this narrative in the bud, to definitely squash this negative narrative before it ruins the spiritual work, the inner healing work that we've done throughout the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of the day.